Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland BROWNS. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, when you look at the Cleveland Browns this season, you realize that there's a lot of buzz, a lot of questions swirling around the quarterback position, especially regarding the future of their third-string quarterback, Shedeur Sanders. And trust me, this isn't just about a young player sitting on the bench. It's about how the Browns are handling one of the most promising talents in recent college football history. Shedeur Sanders, who many initially saw as a potential first-round pick, a guy who transformed Colorado's offense and brought new life to that program, is currently in an intriguing, somewhat puzzling situation in Cleveland. You see, Sanders has seen minimal practice opportunities. He's been largely confined to watching from the sidelines during team sessions, which frankly has raised eyebrows among fans and analysts alike. Why is that the case? Well, according to recent reports and some vocal critics, like ESPN Cleveland's Tony Rizzo, there's a real concern about how the Browns are developing their young quarterback. Rizzo, a veteran radio host who knows the ins and outs of Browns' inner workings, recently voiced his frustrations on his show, highlighting that Sanders isn't even running scout team during practice. Imagine that. You're a rookie, a guy with immense potential, and you're not even out there mimicking the opposing offense during practice reps. Instead, you're just watching everyone else run plays and learn from the sidelines. Rizzo didn't hold back when sharing what he's hearing. He said, "I'm hearing Shedeur is not even running scout team. He's literally watching everyone play. Bailey Zapp's running scout team. I don't know if that's true, that's what I'm hearing. Why is he on the team? Why is he even here? Why is he on the team if he's not even running scout team? Somebody better ask Tommy Rees whether Shedeur's running scout team or not, because I heard he's not." That's a pretty stark critique, and it definitely raises questions about the Browns' approach to player development, especially for someone like Sanders, who clearly has the talent and the upside to be more than just a spectator. Now I want to pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Cleveland Browns news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let's continue with the big reveal. So why is all this happening? Well, the Browns are clearly focused on developing Dillon Gabriel as their primary backup behind Joe Flacco. Gabriel, who's shown flashes of competence when called upon, is the guy Cleveland trusts to step in when needed. But this strategy, while understandable, puts a spotlight on the long-term prospects of Sanders. If he's not getting enough practice reps, how can he develop into the quarterback Cleveland envisioned when they drafted him? The fact that Sanders, despite his college success, is not even running scout team drills, suggests that the Browns might be more cautious or perhaps even hesitant about his immediate development. This situation feeds into a broader discussion about how NFL teams manage young quarterbacks, especially those with high expectations coming out of college. Some teams throw their rookies into the fire right away, giving them significant snaps and opportunities to learn on the fly. Others take a slower approach, prioritizing veteran stability and limiting rookies to watching and learning. Cleveland's approach, as it stands now, seems to lean toward the latter, which is understandable given their current quarterback room. Joe Flacco, with his veteran savvy, provides stability, and Dillon Gabriel, with his potential, is the immediate backup. But what about Sanders? That's the burning question on many fans' minds. If the Browns continue on this path, it could impact Sanders' long-term future in Cleveland. A young quarterback needs reps, not just in practice but also game situations. If he doesn't get those opportunities, it could stunt his growth and make Cleveland consider other options down the line. A trade might become a viable solution, something that benefits both the team and Sanders. Cleveland could look to trade him to a team that's willing to give him more playing time or a chance to develop in a different environment, while the Browns could focus their resources on building around Flacco and Gabriel, who are currently their best options. Of course, that's all speculative for now, but it's a real possibility. If Cleveland finds itself out of playoff contention later this season, that might open the door for Sanders to see meaningful snaps, perhaps even as the starting quarterback. That could be a pivotal moment for him and for the Browns, who need to weigh their developmental strategy against their immediate goals. Remember, the NFL is a league where patience isn't always a virtue, but development often requires patience, especially for young quarterbacks. Let's take a moment to reflect on the bigger picture here. The Browns have been a team with high expectations in recent years, especially after their playoff runs and the acquisition of key players. Their defense is strong, their running game is solid, but the quarterback position remains a bit of a question mark. They've been trying to find stability at the position since the departure of Baker Mayfield, and now they have a young talent like Sanders waiting in the wings. But as things stand, it seems like the coaching staff and management are more focused on the present, prioritizing veterans and immediate results over long-term development. That's a common approach, but it can backfire if the young talent doesn't get the necessary development time. Now, looking at Sanders' college career, he was a transformative figure at Colorado. His arm talent, his ability to make plays outside of structure, and his leadership qualities made him a highly regarded prospect. Many scouts believed he had the potential to be a first-round pick, and his college success seemed to confirm that. But transitioning to the NFL is a whole different ballgame, and development can be hindered if the player isn't given enough reps or guidance. In Cleveland, the situation is complicated because of the veteran presence of Joe Flacco, who's been around the league long enough to mentor younger quarterbacks, and the promising Dillon Gabriel, who has shown flashes of being a capable NFL backup. But Sanders' current role, largely on the sidelines, raises questions about whether the Browns are truly committed to nurturing his talent or simply waiting for the right moment to make a move. If the Browns do decide to keep Sanders in this developmental limbo, it could impact not only his confidence, but also his future potential. Young quarterbacks need to learn by doing, by experiencing real game situations, and by not being stuck in a cycle of watching. That's why many fans and analysts believe that if Cleveland isn't planning to give Sanders a real shot soon, they might consider trading him to a team that's willing to develop him properly. A change of scenery could do wonders for his growth, and it might even be a win-win situation. Cleveland gets a clearer quarterback picture, and Sanders gets a chance to showcase his talent. Now, looking ahead, if the Browns do fall out of playoff contention later this season, that could be the moment where Sanders finally gets meaningful opportunities. Whether it's in relief of Gabriel or even starting, those game reps are invaluable for his progression. It's a delicate balancing act, but one that could define the future of Cleveland's quarterback room for years to come. And let's not forget about the division rivals. The AFC North has been fiercely competitive, with teams like the Ravens, Bengals, and Steelers all vying for supremacy. Any shift in Cleveland's quarterback strategy, especially if Sanders is involved in a move, could tip the scales. A team that finds its young quarterback thriving could become a genuine contender, while others might stumble trying to keep up. The AFC North's power dynamics are always shifting, but right now, this situation with Sanders adds an extra layer of intrigue. So fans, the key takeaway here is that Cleveland's quarterback situation is more than just about who's on the field. It's about the long-term vision and how the team develops talent. Sanders' case is a perfect example of how NFL teams sometimes face tough choices, whether to invest time and patience in a promising young player or to prioritize immediate results. And right now, it seems Cleveland is leaning towards the latter, but that could change quickly depending on how the season unfolds. The Browns' coaching staff and front office have a lot to think about. They need to balance their current roster's needs with their future plans. Sanders has the talent, no doubt, but he needs opportunities to prove himself. If those opportunities don't come soon, it could lead to a different chapter in his NFL story, one where a fresh start elsewhere might be the best move for his career. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this situation? Do you believe Sanders deserves more reps, or do you think the Browns are making the right call by focusing on Gabriel and Flacco? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the future of Cleveland's quarterback room. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. We're in this together, and I can't wait to see how this story unfolds. Thanks for sticking with me, and as always, go Browns.